friends, I bet you're starting to get really excited about the warmer weather and getting to do more things outside because it's a really special time of year. It's almost summer. Summer starts this year in 2021 on Sunday, June 20th. And that's a really special day because it's actually the summer solstice. The summer solstice means that it's the longest day and the shortest night of the year. And that's what makes it summer. Summer is hot because we get more sunlight in these longer days. Even though the nights are shorter this time of year, I wanted to take an opportunity to show you some fun things that you can do outside on these warm summer nights. Even though the nights are shorter this time of year, it can be a really good time to do some stargazing. So let's learn about some summer constellations that you might be able to see on a nice clear night. If you're interested in doing some summer night stargazing, this website is a great place to start. It's called skyandtelescope.org, and it'll give you an interactive star map where you can find the different constellations that you might want to try to learn during the summer. Another great place to learn about the stars in the night sky would be to go to your local library and check out a book that teaches you about the stars and constellations. There's lots of different guidebooks that have plenty of star maps and directions for how to learn the different constellations or look for cool things that you can see in the night sky. Usually, the most recognizable constellation for a lot of people is the Big Dipper. And so you can see here, I've put this little green box on Ursa Major, which is another name for the Big Dipper. And then over here in my zoomed in view, you can see the Big Dipper. It's kind of upside down. But the Big Dipper is really recognizable because it has 7 stars and they're all really bright. And it kind of looks like a soup ladle. So on the summer solstice, if you go outside shortly after sunset, you'll see the Big Dipper pretty close to the middle of the sky. Now the Big Dipper is a really great way for finding Polaris, which is the North Star. So what you do to find Polaris is you look at the edge of the ladle, so the very 2 end stars, the side of the cup of the ladle, and you just draw a line, and then you follow those in the sky until you see one really bright star that looks like it's part of another ladle. So this is the Little Dipper, or Ursa Minor, and that star on the end that's really bright is the North Star. And if you found the North Star, or Polaris, you know that that direction is north, and so you can actually see it is facing north. Another constellation that you'll be able to see on the north side of the sky is Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is a really great constellation to look for because it's really recognizable. It usually either looks like an M or a W in the night sky. This time of year, Cassiopeia is going to be visible on the north side of the horizon, and it will look like a W. The shape of Cassiopeia is supposed to look like a woman seated on a throne. And that is why her nickname is Cassiopeia, the seated queen of Ethiopia. Another constellation you'll be able to see pretty close to the horizon, if you turn a little bit to the northeast, is Cygnus, the swan. And you can kind of see that Cygnus looks like a cross shape, which is supposed to look like a swan. These 2 shorter sides are Cygnus's wings, and his really bright star close to the wings is his tail. And then there's another couple stars that form a straight line, and that's Cygnus's long swan neck. And Cygnus is a really exciting constellation to find because if you found Cygnus, that means you found the Milky Way. We can't always see the Milky Way, especially if we live somewhere where there's a lot of city lights or street lights. But you know that the Milky Way is behind Cygnus, even if you can't quite see the Milky Way. Then if you look just a little bit higher in the sky above Cygnus, you'll see a really bright star, and that really bright star is called Vega. And Vega is part of the constellation Lyra, which is supposed to look like a harp. These are just a few of the many constellations in the sky. And if you look at this map or check out an astronomy book from your local library, you'll be able to learn a lot more constellations.
Summer nights are also a really good time to observe nocturnal animals. Nocturnal means that an animal is mostly awake at night instead of during the day like us. Observing nocturnal animals can be really tricky because they're really good at hiding in the dark, and we can't see that well in the dark. So one way that you can try to find them is by listening for them. A lot of animals have very recognizable sounds that belong to only one certain species. So if you hear this sound, you know that that's a barred owl. And here's what a barred owl looks like during the daytime, although you're much more likely to hear them at night than you are to see them during the day. Birders have a fun way you can remember what their call sounds like. When you hear, you can kind of remember that it almost sounds like someone saying, "Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all?" Though I guess here in Pittsburgh we would probably say, "Who cooks for yins?" Another way you can look for nocturnal animals is by spotting. And so with spotting, you need some sort of flashlight, a headlamp. You can use the light on your phone. Okay, so when you're spotting, you're going to take your flashlight and turn it on, and then you're going to point it. You can look in the grass, you can look in the forest, and what you're going to be looking for are some really shiny, glittery spots looking back at you. And so when you see these really shiny spots that look almost like glitter staring back at you, those are actually the eyes of nocturnal animals. And you don't want to disturb them. You can just kind of stand back and look at them with your flashlight. And the reason why spotting works is because most nocturnal animals have something in their eyes called a tapetum lucidum. And the tapetum lucidum is a very shiny piece of their eye that helps reflect light so that they can see better at night. If you've ever shown a light at your cat or your dog and seen the backs of their eyes look very shiny, they might glow green when you take a picture of them with the flash on in a dark room, something like that, you're actually seeing your cat's tapetum lucidum. Cats are usually nocturnal animals, and so they have a tapetum lucidum, just like lots of other nocturnal animals. So if you live near some woods, you might see some big tapetum lucidum eyes, and those are probably like deer or raccoons or possums or something big like that. But if you just have a yard with grass, kind of like I do, and you see really tiny glittery spots looking back at you, it's probably some spiders or other different kinds of nocturnal insects. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that this video has given you some fun ideas for activities that you can do on these short summer nights. Enjoy the summer solstice.